Do you know what's quietly changing in the Social Security system, but no one has really explained to you? In just the first 100 days, there have been reforms bringing benefits to millions of people. But alongside that, there are also changes that will surprise you. Join us as we analyze the complete picture of what's happening, based on official sources. And don't forget to like and share this video so no one misses the important information coming right up. In just the first 100 days, the Trump administration has initiated a series of deep reforms to the Social Security system, a financial pillar for tens of millions of elderly people, people with disabilities, and those living on SSI or SSDI. Instead of maintaining the status quo, this administration has chosen to approach by touching the most rigid parts of the federal apparatus personnel structure, operational technology, and payment transparency, and surprisingly, many people have actually benefited from these changes. One of the highly regarded steps is that the SSA has refunded over $14.8 billion to more than 2 million people who were affected by controversial pension deduction provisions. This is not just money with significant economic value, but also an action demonstrating reconsideration of past mistakes. For many retirees or those who worked in the public sector, this compensation not only helps them afford a better life, but also brings a sense of recognition after a long period of waiting in silence. Not stopping at remediation, the SSA is also proactively optimizing its budget by cutting more than $1 billion from expenditures considered no longer appropriate for the current situation. From reducing personnel costs, technical support contracts, to streamlining printing and internal procurement programs, this agency is trying to build a more efficient system, avoiding waste of public resources. This is especially important in a context where taxpayers are increasingly concerned with the question, how is my money being used? The SSA is also expanding cooperation with health IT programs to accelerate the disability claim review process. This helps significantly reduce the time and cost spent on collecting medical records, an expense that previously reached $500 million annually. If successful, this will be a major step in ensuring those who need urgent assistance no longer have to wait endlessly just because of lengthy paperwork processes as before. Besides cuts, the SSA is strongly moving toward technology as a long-term solution. Integrating artificial intelligence AI into claim processing not only helps reduce the burden on staff, but also shortens response times for citizens, something that was previously an inherent weakness of the system. With the support of tools like the Hertie platform, an AI-based recording and transcription system, the SSA expects to improve accuracy in case reviews, especially in hearings related to disability benefits or benefit disputes. If these technological initiatives are properly implemented, not only will citizens be served faster, but the system will also save billions of dollars in operating budget each year. Those savings could be reinvested back into essential support programs, helping maintain long-term stability for both beneficiaries and contributors. Overall, what's happening is not a noisy reform, but a quiet yet profound effort to build a more modern, accurate, and sustainable Social Security system for citizens who have worried about delays, errors, or lack of transparency. This may be the time to start trusting again, or at least to actively observe and take advantage of the improvements being gradually implemented. If done in the right direction, these changes will not only help the government save budget, but also help ensure that those who need help most will receive it more quickly and fairly. Although recent reforms from the SSA have been implemented with the goal of delivering clearer value to citizens and improving operational efficiency, there are still many real-life experiences that leave many people confused, even worried. Reform is necessary, but in the process, gaps appear. Not because the system isn't doing the right thing, but because the pace of change sometimes exceeds the adaptability of some beneficiaries. One of the major changes in the first 100 days of reform is personnel restructuring. More than 3,000 voluntary resignations and about 2,000 transfers show that the SSA apparatus is being reorganized decisively. From a management perspective, this is a step to streamline operations, ensure responsibility and efficiency. However, from the citizen's perspective, local offices missing familiar staff or temporarily closing for infrastructure and storage reasons have created many difficulties in accessing services. Many elderly or disabled people who completely depend on face-to-face meetings to process their files now face changes they weren't prepared for. In this context, the concern isn't technology. It's the feeling of being lost. Some people don't use the internet, don't know how to log into electronic systems, or simply need a direct explanation for a change in their personal records. When accustomed to human support, shifting to a digital model, no matter how modern, still makes them feel pushed to the margins of a system they once trusted. Besides personnel changes, policy adjustments regarding deductions are also causing many people to pause and wonder what's really happening with their benefits. The default deduction rate from monthly pension payments has been adjusted from 10% to 15%, aiming to enhance the recovery of erroneous payments from the past. Additionally, old debts from before March 2020 are still being monitored and may be deducted through the Treasury Offset Program. For some people, this happens unexpectedly. They don't understand why they're receiving less this month than last month, and feel confused by changes they weren't psychologically prepared to face. Although the implemented policies may be procedurally correct and systematic, individual experiences remain very personal. A few dozen dollars deducted could be the difference between a month with enough medication and a month having to choose between buying medicine or paying utilities. Not everyone feels heavily affected, but when personal benefits change without fully understanding the reason, what remains isn't just the deducted amount, it's a feeling of confusion. People don't need much, they just need clear explanations, step-by-step guidance, and to feel that someone is still listening to them in a system that's changing every day. Reform, after all, is still the right thing to do, if it helps make the system more transparent, accurate, and sustainable. But alongside that, what citizens hope for isn't perfection, but companionship. To be updated, to be supported, and more importantly, to be understood. In any system, when change occurs, what matters isn't just how it's designed or optimized, but how the people living within that system feel. For those who have paid taxes all their lives, elderly people living on SSI or small monthly pensions, what they need isn't just a promise of a better future. They need real protection, a system that can change, but still retains humanity and transparency in every decision. Reform is inevitable. Digitization is an unavoidable path. But in an increasingly automated world, the feeling of being left behind can come very quickly, just because of incorrect information, an outdated account, or simply because no one clearly explained what's happening. This isn't a warning, but a gentle reminder when the system changes. You need to understand even more clearly where you stand within that system. Not to be skeptical, but to be proactive. Not to be afraid, but to protect what you're supposed to receive. This isn't too complicated. Just regularly access My SSA. Gov to check your personal information. Just sign up for automatic alerts so you don't miss important notifications from the SSA. And if you notice anything unusual, whether it's a small change in your payment or a strange email, don't hesitate to ask. Don't wait for someone else to speak up for you. Being proactive doesn't help you avoid all risks, but it helps you not stand still when everything is moving. And, more importantly, it reminds you that your benefits still have value, not because of how modern the system is, but because you have always been a part of that system from the beginning. Finally, what we're witnessing isn't just technical adjustments in a government agency. It's a systemic transformation process, where each number, each policy, and each update can directly impact the lives of millions of people. There are noteworthy steps forward. There are also quiet concerns. But most importantly, it's how each of us chooses to accompany that change. You don't need to understand every policy. You just need to know that your benefits deserve attention. And you can do that by following the news, checking your account regularly, and being ready to act if anything unusual happens. If you find this video helpful, please share it with relatives, friends, or anyone receiving Social Security benefits who hasn't yet caught up with recent changes. We're here to help you understand what's happening, and more importantly, how you can be proactive before everything really affects your life. Thank you for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the latest updates on SSI, SSDI, pensions, and federal policies that may change your benefits in the coming time. See you in the next video.